Hi, my name is Brian. I'm with CDOG Game Studios, and I'm the creator of Sailpower. And today I'd like to talk to you about how to properly allocate your crew, how many guys you need for what, and some tips as to smart ways to organize and manage your crew in Sailpower. In Sailpower, somebody has once joked that he didn't know he'd signed up to be a project manager at sea. What you'll find is that you can never have enough guys for the task at hand, and then cannonballs start poking holes in them, and that makes the problem worse. So let's get started and talk about what you need to allocate. First thing I want to say is, when you get your ship sheet, you're like, geez, I don't really know. What do I need? All right, your first crew allocation is not super critical. You're not likely to be in combat right away, hopefully. If you're going to be in combat your first turn, then it matters more, but not necessarily going to be in combat the first turn, so you'll get a chance to reassign your crew. So relax. You just need to have enough guys aloft to sail. That's the most important thing. Beyond that, we'll get into it here. All right, so unless you're planning to row your ship, you need guys aloft to sail. And these are crew guys that can't do anything else except sail. They generally would have been sent aloft with no other gear other than their basic of clothes. Being aloft is dangerous, and carrying gear would be not a good idea. The aloft crew is actually what you need is listed right here. You'll notice that this particular ship says it has a crew of 45 and it has a sail crew of 5. All right, so that means there are 45 total crew on the ship, of which you must have at least 5 aloft to sail, and the 5 will go right there. All right, now if your ship has a fighting top, like this platform that you see up here, okay, you can put extra guys there. Separate the two by putting values in parentheses for your sail crew or for your marines, whatever makes more sense to you. Keep it separated within the aloft space. Next thing you're going to probably want to do is man your guns. So you're looking at your model and it's got all these cannons all over it, right? Different guns have different crews. Most of the small ships that we typically play in Sailpower, the crew is 4. So if you're talking a cannon, light cannon, a long gun, they require 4 guys to fire every turn, and half that if you want to fire every other turn, but who wants to do that? You'll also note that you may have rail guns, or what we call rail guns. They're not sci-fi blasters, but they're little teeny swivel guns on a pivot that are used for small arms, deck to deck, or rail cannons. Those are 1 per 1, so a little one guy can fire it. It's not a big thing, and it probably weighs 80 to 100 pounds. It's not like a naval cannon in the sense of running it. So those are 1 per 1. Larger guns have larger crews. So if you're running a rated long gun, which is a 32 pounder, we're talking, a gun that's half a ton, and it probably has a massive crew. If I recall off the top of my head, I think it's 14, but don't quote me on that one. Just look it up, whatever type of gun you have. If you're not sure, GMs are handy for that purpose, or experienced players can tell you where to find that, but it's on the gun charts. All right. So also don't assume that you have to man every gun. If you're running a Royal Navy ship, so like this is a Royal Navy Bermuda sloop. It's a really small ship. It only has a crew of 45. So if I allocate 4 guys per gun and it's got 6 guns, well, there's 24 guys right away. But the reality is that because then where would I get my boarding party from, my repair guys? The reality is ships usually don't get to fire both broadsides at the same time. And when they trained on the guns, they actually ran from side to side, so across the deck. You know, the crew that mans this gun can easily man the other gun. They just run across the deck. So when you're allocating crew, just put enough to man at least one broadside. That's safe. Now, if you're coming up on a turn that you're like, next turn I'm going to fire both broadsides, well, add extra guys. And if you've got the guys to spare, by all means, you can certainly assign them. All that goes on deck. All right. The deck on a Sailpower ship, especially on these little open deck warships, is a lethal place. So I don't suggest that you leave lots of extra guys that are not part of your boarding party, not part of your repair, not part of your gun crew. If you're not using them, I would put them below. Below, the interesting thing about it is that Ben Franklin crossed over to Paris, and whenever a enemy ship showed up, they sent him to the bilge. And you think, well, he's an important guy. Why'd you send your VIP to the bilge? Well, it's below the waterline. Cannonballs have almost no chance of killing you below the waterline. Water takes all the impact out of cannonballs really fast. And then there's the side of the ship, which is thick down there. And it's just a safe place. Unless the ship sinks, you're probably safe below the waterline. Women and children, same thing. They would go to the below. So in this game, if you're not using guys on the deck, that's probably a very dangerous place to keep them. I would keep them below. Also, if you have below deck guns, this particular ship that I have does not. But if you have cannons or below, then you have to have men assigned to them. Same idea as far as cannons. Size of cannon matters, and make sure you have enough guys. But manning cannons is the only way you can truly die below deck if the ship doesn't sink. Moving along, you'll want to assign guys to repair. You don't necessarily have to do that right away. If you're not really running a really combat-intensive scenario, a basic repair team is about 10 guys. I mean, you can look in the new player guide. Has some guidelines as how many guys does it take to do this or that. But 10 guys is a good basic number. You might want more if it's really combat oriented. I would assign something if you can, because if somebody shoots out your rudder, it's one of those ones it just takes time and you have to have guys. And if you have no guys assigned, it's just going to take you longer to fix your ship, and who wants that? All right, so the other field that you want to assign for is your boarding party. All right, your boarding party represents all extracurricular activity for your ship, so going ashore, small boats, all of that. The rule on allocating that is you need to have at least one officer. You'll notice you have officers on the back here. This ship has 4 officers. So you have to have one officer on the ship, or the ship could just run off. It's the age of sail. It'd be like leaving your keys in the ignition and in a bad neighborhood. So don't do that. You want at least one officer on the ship. And then with shore parties, similarly, guys might run away or lose cohesion if they don't have at least one officer per 10 guys. So this particular ship, the largest shore party that I could manage to take ashore would be 30 guys, because I need one officer for the ship and one officer per 10. So and that's the ship only has 45 guys to start out with, so it's not too bad. Boarding, you actually get pluses when you're searching based on number of guys. So for 10 guys, you get 11 or less, 20 guys, 12 or less, 30 guys, 13 or less. So if you could actually put ashore a 100-man search party, you would auto-succeed in finding whatever there is to find. It means you're canvassing the thing with a small army, so we just give it to you. So again, more is better, but you have to have officers to run that. So that's a really brief overview of what you need. And as you can hear, my phone's ringing. So I'll catch you guys later.